Hello and welcome to this Warcraft replay. It's been a while, sorry about that. This is going to be the first game of a best of 3 here. From the WCA Chinese Qualifiers Group D. Yes, we're moving slowly along, but a lot faster than last WCA, I think? I don't know. Yeah, it's been a while, sorry about that. It's just usual school stuff, honestly. Anyway, we are going to be having 4U spawning in as the blue human player on the top right. I have yet to cast the game with 4U, I believe. That's mainly just because I've been casting old tournaments. And then this tournament. So yeah, I've been pretty slow. He'll be facing off against Fly, the probably #1 orc right now, currently. I think that's a fairly good assumption, and that's mainly just the reason that Fly's been playing for so long. Most of the other orc players have pretty much stopped, even though I don't know if Grubby is coming back to the scene, but he is still playing a lot of Warcraft recently. He's been playing with the Back to Warcraft guys, particularly yours. So yeah, just go to Back to Warcraft. I think they have a video on it on their channel. Otherwise, go to Back to Warcraft stream. They've been like really active. I know I say that every time I mention Back to Warcraft, but like, wow, I'm actually pretty jealous of them. They just recently casted the couple of series from WCA Group A, and yeah, they got way more views than I did. So yeah, I'm not very jealous. But then again, it's for the Warcraft scene. I don't mind too much. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, Archmage coming out for 4U. Pretty standard start from him. Fly, however, did go for a really late barracks. His first grunt does pop out with his Blade Master, so that is rather unorthodox. Fly is instead going to go for an early tier 2. Is kind of supply block, so he won't be able to create any more grunts, you know, for a while. But yeah, early tier 2. Let's see if he will actually manage to get an advantage out of this. I did mention in the previous series that Orc does have a really hard time dealing with humans because like the mid-tier comp to late tier comp is like not favored at Orc at all, I don't think. Like, in my opinion, I think Orc's worst matchup is human, because Raiders, they're not amazing against Spellbreakers, and they get really screwed by sorceresses, including the Blade Master as well. He gets pretty screwed by the slow as well. Spirit Walkers, they get absolutely hammered by the Spellbreakers as well. Basically, for you, all he needs to do is build sorceresses and Spellbreakers, maybe some priests to keep those Spellbreakers alive, and that's it. That's all he needs to do. So, yeah. I don't know what Fly will be able to achieve if he lets the game get, you know, to that stage of the game. So very curious to see what Fly will actually go for. He'll have to maybe outplay with his Blade Master. Tier 2 first from 4U as well. I believe he did see the early stronghold tick coming in from Fly with his elementals. So yeah, it's pretty smart answer. Going expand first would have meant the delay of the Arcane Sanctums, and that's probably not something you would like to do as a human player. You just want to get that very solid army composition going as early as possible. It doesn't really matter if you can't afford pumping out of 2 Sanctums. 4U's a human, he'll probably manage to, you know, produce double Sanctums anyway. I mean, obviously Tho did it last series, so 4U shouldn't have too much of a problem there. Blade Master may be able to get a couple of good experience out of this elemental, getting really close to level 2 as well. Archmage, however, is already level 2. I believe he did some long distance creeping, and it seems like he's going to finish off this Trapper camp. I believe Fly was the one that got this camp initially. Yeah, he was able to get the Berserker and get the Wand of Illusion from that. Okay, Stronghold is done. Altar of Storms, not really producing a second hero just yet, but the Spirit Lodge and Bestiary has been started, as well as the Shadowhunter 4. Yep, now. So the Archmage, he will, I believe, get level 3 here with the Overseer. It's gonna be really close, I think. Dust Appearance used just in case any nearby Blade Masters, and there we go, just by a point. Able to get that level 3, therefore level 2 Elementals. Seems like the Archmage is moving it down to maybe harass the Orc Burrows. Yep. It's going to be pretty interesting to see the second hero. It is actually going to be a Mountain King. So for you not going for the Beastmaster, which is a pretty solid anti-orc hero there, but then again, he needs an answer for that Blade Master, because the Blade Master is going to be like the only answer Fly could give to, you know, a human army. Double Sanctum's being built here by 4U. His Mountain King will pop out momentarily, and there we go. Will he toss out a Stormbolt? Probably no reason to, as there probably won't be that much follow-up. Fly, ooh, very close to losing that Elemental there. Oh, not Elemental. Very close to losing that Orc Burrow there. 4U very close with his Elementals, but it seems like enough peons were moved to repair that Burrow. Seems like Fly is gonna take down this Ogre Magi camp here, unless the Mountain King has something to say about it. Will he toss out a Stormbolt to execute, maybe? Yes, he will, but Fly will pick up the item. It is going to be the full 15-second invulnerability potion there, and he will run away with a sliver of health. Maybe more than a sliver, but regardless, it is pretty low health. Fly will be able to take down this green creep camp finally. I don't know what is with orc players these days, but they just don't like clearing the nearest camps. Blade Master surprisingly still level 1. Normally you would like maybe level 2, maybe level 3 on the Blade Master, so he can be a lot more efficient at harassing, but yeah, it seems like Fly's just prioritizing his Shadowhunter for now. And then as soon as I say it, it seems like, oh, never mind. He was not going to get level 2 at all. I guess he is just going to rely on harassing and creepjacking. It's probably not the most reliable thing to do. Playmaster trying to look for some kills here, but the slow's being tossed by that Sorceress. It's really going to hinder a lot of things there. Mountain King is going to Stormbolt the Blade Master, preventing him from actually getting the Magi kill there. Mountain King picking up the Greater Mana Potion and a Tome of Experience, which is actually pretty lucky, getting himself really close to level 3 as well. So despite that early like tier 2 jump from Fly, it doesn't seem like he was able to get anywhere. Right now he has 2 Spirit Walkers and a Raider against 4U's like Sorceresses and Priests. It seems like both are pretty even, and yeah, that does not bode well for Fly. 4U starting out with this Ogre Mola camp, but the Blade Master is lingering along. Dust will be used, and surprisingly the Blade Master does get tagged by the dust, so maybe that's a big enough deterrent to run away. The item is going to be the Healing Wards from the Ogre Magi, which is probably not as useful as one might think. I don't actually view it as useful for the human player. It's kind of redundant since you have priests already. Then again, I guess it just adds another focus for the enemy player to, you know, consider focusing. Fly taking out this creep camp himself. The Blade Master is gonna get level 2. Finally, Critical Strike, most likely the ability trained up there. Double Claws being transferred over to the Blade Master, so he's had a pretty big jump in damage. I believe he has like 19 damage, 17 damage maybe. It's that Kodo Beast that's really screwing up the totals there. Yeah, I believe that was 17 damage. 4U moving out with a pretty big army. This is actually really huge army, in fact. I think it's because he hasn't actually tossed his footmen to, you know, sacrifice for food supply, which is probably the reason why his army looks pretty big. Pretty big consecutive thunderclaps there. Blade Master taking quite a bit of a hit as well. Healing wards being placed down, and more thunderclaps being tossed to the ground. Speed scroll will be used as Fly needs to actually avoid fighting here. I think this is really good for 4U to actually fight. He has towers going down, no magic sentry just yet. We are gonna have the Archmage getting level 4, so level 2 Brilliance Aura as well. His elementals will get taken out, however, with consecutive disenchant, double Kodo comp as well for Fly. Not really consuming any spellbreakers, which is like the main thing the Kodos need to do. Blizzard raining down on the Orc army there. It's killing those peasants a lot quicker than the Spirit Walkers, but yep, nevertheless, we are gonna have... Oh, it seems like Fly's army is able to push this back. I guess there wasn't just enough spellbreakers. Huh. Despite the Arcane Tower up, it seems like Fly is able to push this attack back. Mountain King, I actually have no idea what the Mountain King is. I believe the Mountain King died? No, he's there. Okay. Mountain King's not actually like impactful enough for me to actually realize where he is. Huh. That was a really surprising defeat there from 4U. I don't exactly know what happened. Strange. He tagged so many Orc units with slow. I could have sworn he was going to win that fight, but it doesn't seem like that was enough, and Fly was able to win that pretty decisively. He didn't lose that many units. He was able to keep his double Kodos alive, so that's big of a plus there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess 4U needed more spellbreakers, because I think he only brought 2 on in that fight. It's either 1 or 2, and I don't know if that was enough spellbreakers to actually win the battle. So yeah, who knows? Maybe the Blade Master was, you know, a big factor, and I just didn't realize that. There is fluid accuracy being picked up by the Blade Master there. I believe the Rock Golem was the one that dropped it. It's gonna be sold for a bit of quick cash there. I guess it doesn't really matter too much, since most of the main damage sources of the Orc army are raiders, and they are melee. So yeah, Spirit Walkers don't need the added damage. So yeah, there's reasoning behind selling that particular item. Okay, Ogre camp seems to be being attempted by Fly. Huge shockwave there, but I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Healing wave's just going to be tossed by the Shadow Hunter. Ogre Lord is going to drop the Django of Endurance, so Endurance Aura is going to be picked up there for the Orc army. I'm not sure if it's going to be too useful. I guess it might as well be useful, since it's attack speed and movement speed. So yeah, it's gonna maybe try and compensate for the mass slows that's going to be raining down by those sorceresses. 4U still not too heavy in the spellbreaker numbers, which I am a little worried about there. I guess it's because he just doesn't want to go over upkeep, and since he has no expand, going into upkeep's actually pretty big decision. Good ensnares from Fly, able to take down these vital sorceresses as well. So it doesn't seem like 4U is actually looking in a good position right now, and that's surprising, because I would have thought that the human army was so solid that it didn't really matter too much. Okay, forward Voodoo Lounge being placed down by Fly, and it seems like he is going to go in the offensive here. Thunderclap by the Mountain King again, but he's taking quite a bit of damage already by the Blade Master. Invulnerability Potion will be used. Blizzard being tossed down by the Archmage as well. but I think it's only like level 1 Blizzard, so it's not that useful. Wand of Wind will be used. That was the item that was dropped in the bottom left. I didn't actually see that item, sorry about that. Blizzard being interrupted by Hex once again, so I think at this point, like, you're gonna get hexed anyway, might as well just toss down those elementals. So here we go, elementals being tossed down, but Foyu doesn't have that many units out to actually deal with the grunts and raiders. And of course the Coda Beasts have been, like, you know, eating up spellbreakers left and right anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Spirit Links are being stolen, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna matter too much. And it seems like Fly will be able to take game 1 of this best of 3 series. And look at that. As soon as I doubted an orc capability, they win against a human. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I will see you guys again in game 2. Yep, see you then.